Other interesting political news, you have Nikki Haley Trump Debt tweet mostly backfires completely. Now this, as she, for reasons, still runs for the Republican nominee when Trump is again ahead by leaps and bounds, to say the least. If we go to the funneled, and again, we're going to have some caucuses report on later this week and some other results. But if we go to the poll aggregator at projects.538.com, that poll aggregator has Trump, where is he at? Trump is at 76.9%, and Nikki Haley is down at 15.5%. So, to say he's ahead by leaps and bounds is perhaps almost an underestimate of the situation, or under-analysis of the situation. He's so far ahead, he can't see here in the rear view mirror. Perhaps it's a more accurate metaphor or something to that effect. There's no conceivable way she can make up that ground, even though it's actually almost impressive Trump has this much of a lead, considering she has a lot more funding in terms of there are a lot of the traditional big political donors who actually donate to her and not Trump. Most famously, he had one of the most powerful, influential CEOs in the world. We have Mr. Jamie Dimon. He's the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase. He actually implored people to donate to her, kind of, as the youth might say, to hedge your bets, because she has so many policies that are very similar to Biden and Democrats. So you kind of, as the youth might say, or some might say, you win either way. And truth be told, a lot of businesses do this as well. They'll donate to both Republicans and Democrats. So no matter who wins, they still have some power, influence, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, going to her specific tweet from her ex-Twitter profile. Oh, the touchscreen doesn't implode on me. She says, quote, Donald Trump put our nation $6 trillion in debt in just 4 years. There's no indication that he'll stop spending spree if he's back in the White House. Our kids are the ones who have to deal with that mess, unquote. And while it's moderately interesting, for her, moderately viral. Again, nothing has topped her Soviet statement, and that got like 8-point-something million. But for her, this is a little bit better than her average. Now, this got 286,000 views and only 4.5 thousand likes. So very few people like her, at least on social media. I actually saw a picture, I don't think it was Photoshopped, where it was a picture of her at a rally, and there were people around her, and they weren't throwing tomatoes or being, yelling insults at her. They were Nikki Haley fans. So they do exist, apparently. In full transparency, I've never met one, but, which begs the question, have you? I've never seen a Nikki Haley flag or t-shirt, or, again, marketing is key. I haven't seen any swag or indicators that people around me are supportive of her. Maybe one or two of my Democrat friends like her because, again, she has very similar policies, but I don't know a lot of people who consider themselves libertarian or the middle or Republican who are in support of her. That being said, again, we just looked at statistics. She's getting about 17% or so in the poll aggregator. And yeah, let's go in the comments and see what are people saying. Now, one of the first comments comes from Paul Zazupa. He says, quote, Nikki Haley is just lying like a corporate establishment candidate she is. Trump cut taxes for all Americans. Most of the debt Haley is claiming came after COVID lockdowns in the form of relief payments. Haley wants to spend countless trillions on war. The choice is clear. Unquote, getting 959 likes despite my speaking ineptitudes. Now, granted, I'm not a scientist, but I do have a little bit of theory. If you click the like button, it could really assist in my speaking ineptitudes, and especially the subscribe button. When I first started the show, believe it or not, I actually stuttered worse and spoke even faster than here and now, which I know seems inconceivable, but ever since then, got more and more subscribers, more and more likes, more and more comments, and speaking has improved. You might argue it's just a modicum of improvement, barely at all. However, it is a little bit of an improvement. So if you click that button, subscribe, I would especially appreciate it, and very well may assist in my speaking ineptitudes and decreasing them. But, as I always say, time shall tell. Going back to other comments, you have Faraz Ali Bolksh saying, quote, what about them? And it says, there are 14 million kids living in poverty in America, yet these people and the left fight for illegal immigrants. And it's a picture of Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, as well as Kamala Harris. That got 123 likes. The Bayou Boy says, quote, go home. And it's a picture of Nikki Haley holding a trophy in a cornfield. And it says, Nikki Haley celebrates her 5th straight loss, participation trophy, getting 479 likes. Patriot Dad says, quote, the only person creating a mess right now is Nikki Haley. She knows there's no chance to ever be the nominee. Her only goal is to create division in the voter base. The losing streak will continue state after state, destroying all chances of running in the future. Unquote, getting 217 likes. Scrolling down more and more. You have Joseph Pino saying, quote, Nikki Haley would give $8 trillion to Ukraine, unquote, gaining 629 likes. Oh, Jesus. That's that's scary. Joseph Gallon says, quote, you're going to lose again, Hillary. Oops. And it's a picture of Hillary Clinton photoshopped with Nikki Haley's face, where the faces are merged together, which is, geez Louise, thankfully you can't see this particular picture. I'm not displaying it at the moment, but I want to say you'd lose sleep because it's some type of creature you'd see under your bed or imagine under your bed as a child as a monster. But I did get 448 likes, and for the record, I do greatly enjoy life and plan to live it to its fullest for many, many, many years, and would never insult the Clintons, who are extremely, very moral, intelligent people who would never hurt a fly. Just want to say that for the record. I love life. Knock on wood. Now, going down more and more, you have Patriot 911 saying, quote, have fun losing again in Michigan today, getting 217 likes. The U.S. Ministry of Truth saying, quote, who do you work for? Getting 195 likes. Let's see here. There's got to be some contrarians or someone who believes in her. Brian Kennedy says, quote, Nikki works for the DNC Uniparty now, getting 65 likes. Williams says, quote, Trump filled our depleted oil reserves as a national security risk, built 500 miles of border wall, funded black colleges, and spent all that for America, not foreign interests like you, Nikki, in South Carolina, bringing CCP companies to compete with American-owned companies. I'm quoting 59 likes. Tony Lanianti says, quote, did you register as a Democrat yet? I'm quoting 21 likes. It's got to be one positive statement. Pamela Sohn said, quote, so you proved to Trump until you found you can get richer the other way. I'm quoting 49 likes. Toikayo says, quote, you would spend $8 trillion to Israel if you got elected. I'm quoting 42 likes. And Tony says, quote, typical misrepresenting the truth. Rhino, COVID affected the deficit and was needed. I'm quoting 27 likes. Oh, geez Louise. Someone has Nikki Haley looking like the Wizard. No, not the Wizard of Oz. The witch. The witch from the Wizard of Oz, getting 50 likes. They didn't have to do much Photoshop for that, but they did a little. There's got to be someone who likes her. Ultra Nuclear Maga says, quote, tax revenue went up, getting 3 likes. Let's see here. Patriot Plus says, quote, your plan is to put us $8 trillion in debt. Not a great bargain. Quote, getting 5 likes. There's got to be someone who likes her. Let's see here. M.L. Hayden says, quote, what entitlement program would you cut to balance the budget, unquote, getting 7 likes, which perhaps that's kind of a neutral comment. It's not really praising her, but asking her a question. Interestingly enough, they never really ask that, do they? Like, okay, you're going to cut these. Tell us the top 3 things we're going to cut day 1 to decrease the deficit and decrease government spending. Which, again, I forget which libertarian candidate or representative in D.C. proposed this, but I really like the idea of someone had, and again, it's not my idea, it's someone else, and they said, every time the government wants to pass any bill that costs money, they have to have a footnote and a mechanism to actually fund it. And even better, have people, in some cases, vote on it. So say, hey, we're going to do this, but it's going to cost you an extra, 2 or 3% of your income tax, or something to that effect. And yet, no, they just keep passing them with no idea of, we'll just swipe the credit card, which has not worked with both Republicans and Democrats leading the country. Strolling down more and more. There's got to be, just statistically speaking, there has to be at least one. I guess we'll count that as a neutral. We're scrolling down into the comments here, folks. Thomas Merlin says, stop telling the same things every day. Change your words. And quote, getting 6 likes. Let's see. Shay says, quote, he also didn't take a paycheck or enter any wars. I can't see you giving up either. I'm quote, getting 4 likes. Which, I think a lot of Americans forget that Trump actually gave up his salary for when he was a president. He actually lost money. Well, especially now with the lawsuits that are, I think many would argue, are politically motivated, since many of the things he did are identical to other politicians, yet he's the only one where the charges are actually being brought forth. Let's see here. We're getting to the bottom of the comments, folks. I mean, these are getting between 0 and 1 likes, and even these are not positive. It's got to be at least 1. Let's see. Sheepdog Society says, yeah, that's why he's beating you in Michigan, getting 2 likes. A lot of people just saying, just go away. You're an ambassador. What about your time in the UN? A lot of people saying, it's over. Drop out. Where's the debt now? There's got to be. Jack Lombardi says Democrats controlled the House, getting 3 likes. Let's see here. A lot of people literally saying blah, blah, blah. Stop. Chris PD said my taxes doubled under Biden. Surrender Dorothy. LOL, your store here. Go away. Drop out Haley. I was going to say, how many comments are there total? Because we might be here for a while. Let's see here. Scroll up to the very top, or back up. Oh, come on, technology, work for me, not against me. There's so many comments. There's 3,600 comments. Let's see here. And we're scrolling deep, folks. All right, we'll take one more scroll. A lot of people saying, I hate liars, I hate scum. A lot of people calling her a loser. This very well may be a fascinating political phenomenon, a mathematical phenomenon as well. We call it the Chris Christie effect, which, truth be told, has only happened twice on the show, where we found there are 2 times where Chris Christie actually tweeted something, and he had 0 positive responses. And allegedly, Chris Christie has, family members, friends, allegedly a campaign staff when he was running, and yet 2 separate times, 0 positive comments appeared under his reply, in the replies for his original statement. This may be one of those times. Again, there's 3,600. We can't go through all of them, but Crimea River, you're pathetic. Your wars are running up too. You lost again. Statistically speaking, there has to be at least one. A lot of people simply saying BS propaganda, go home, drop out. A lot of those scary pictures of her face with Hillary amalgamation into one. Let's see. Folks, we're at the very bottom. And granted, I'm scrolling through pretty quick. And I didn't see a single positive vote. There was that one that we can say is probably a little bit more neutral, where it's just posing the question, how are you funding these? And yet, I don't want to call it prematurely, but scrolling back up, I'm seeing still just mostly negative comments. I'm not seeing me miss anything. A lot of people calling her a neocon, a rhino, which again is a pejorative word as Republican in name only, where they run as a Republican, but all their policies and their voting patterns are in fact Democratic policies, and based on those beliefs and that political ideology. There has to be, let's see here. Let's see. I think a lot of people saying we think she took a bribe. A lot of people calling her by her old last name, Nimrata, before she got married. Some people are calling out her infidelity, where she cheated on her husband at the time. A lot of people saying only Democrats are supporting you. Let's see. A lot of people saying surrender Dorothy. So, again, we did a script. I mean, we read the top ones, and truth be told, I think, yeah, we're going to have to give her the Chris Christie Award. So we have a very fascinating, rare instance where you have the Chris Christie anomaly, in which, again, not a single positive comment was to be found. And granted, I'll do a little asterisk. I didn't read every single one of the 3,000 plus comments, but we went all the way to the bottom and scrolled all the way to the top. And the best we could say is we found one neutral comment. So in that case, we'll round it. We'll say there's 0 positive comments for Nikki Haley, which again is a fascinating, improbable thing to happen. Though I would say perhaps given her background and what she's running on, probably the odds are probably more than not they would be mostly negative. But I didn't think it'd be 0. So that's pretty astonishing. Not too surprising. But let me know in the comments. Not only do you know anyone who supports Nikki Haley, but have you ever seen? Again, this is just X-Twitter. Maybe we'll check out the Facebook sometime. We'll look at those comments. But yeah, not a single positive comment for that particular statement from Nikki Haley. I don't see her able to win anytime soon. The only possibility is if Trump is legally barred from running, then she'd be the default, which, geez Louise, I can't imagine many Republicans being happy with that option. But let me know in the comments. It'll be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback. So let me know how I can make the show better and better over time. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.